Three and two and one and good evening, internet land. This is Big D, and right now I'm alone at the bench. Join us later. She's been doing a lot of drawing lately, and she's got a little bit of a headache going on right now from her eyes. Working it. So, giving her a chance to rest. Heidi ho, internet land. I'm hoping everyone can hear me okay. It looks like sound is good. Inquisitor Zane, Synod Dave, and the Commodore. Good evening, everyone. Hope you can all hear me okay. Let me adjust the camera a little bit here. Oh, there we go. Oh, Heidi ho all. And Wolf Brother Mythos. How are you, my friend? Oh, what a week. Been some stuff going on. Well, let's get right into it. Let's talk about what's on the bench. Well, if you can see from here, you can see the box. Speed Freaks in the house. We have begun the build and priming for my Orcish cavalry. No, we're all good tonight. It's me alone. I don't tend to drop too many F-bombs. You're all good. Yeah, just talking about the hobby. Yeah, I got this bad boy built. And I got it primed. I'm going to be getting into the painting later this week. As soon as I finish up the Dreadnought, I'm trying to finish up. I'm trying to get it done tonight, actually, probably after the stream. I received a lovely base from Robert Alia at the Miniatures Paintbrush that is customized. It has my name plastered all over it. It has a couple of posters. It is a beautiful base. And I was going to stick my War Boss on it as a 40 millimeter base. And he doesn't fit. So I was going to get my Weird Boy. And I was going to put a Weird Boy on there. And he was going to fit until I put his cloak on him. If he was just a body, he'd have fit. But once I put a cloak on him, I can't get him near enough to the middle of the base. So I have to find another figure to go on there because I'm not. He was like, "Oh, cut off what you don't need, cut off what you don't like." I am not trimming this base at all. This thing is gorgeous. If I have to put some little tiny 25 millimeter base on it and just use this as a showpiece, I will, because this thing is gorgeous and I am not editing this base. Base is beautiful. So yeah, working on my orcs. Finished up a bunch of my Space Wolves. If you guys have been seeing my Instagram, I had one guy finished up last night. I didn't have him completely done, but I put him up because he was 90% done. We finished up the base. We put some snow on him. The sealant's nice and dry. I'm going to throw a shoulder tag on him, and he will complete a unit that was somehow missing one intercessor. I think it might have been a team that came together out of out of a group I had built for kill team, so I didn't bother putting shoulder markings on them. So, but now that that kill team is done and put away, I'm gonna have to repaint a few. So, I'm pretty much, other than some some Gray Hunters I'm gonna be done. I think I'm done with Space Wolves for a while. I think I'm good. Gonna need to take a break from them. But that's okay. I got a lot of orcs to paint. Orcs. This is only the first one. There's another truck in there, and then there's 6 bikes. I started working on a pack of knobs. So yeah, working on my orcs. Orcs are going to start next month. Is going to be orc month. There's going to be a lot of them coming out. So trying to get ready for the release of Nazgul, or not Nazgul. Thraka Gaz, big dude, big bad. So, wow, you guys are chatting now. Let's see what's going on here, fans. Oh, beautiful people, sick for class. Hey, kid, you're good. No F-bombs again. Comment or call that. Boom, 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 boom. But this show, well, there'll be, yeah, there's Python Arcs. Yeah, screw you. Yeah. See, that's the thing. I love orcs. I love that they're so different. I mean, I did finish part of the dude already. I've got his attack squib is done. So that's part of the Warlord's base. He's all good. Am I thinking of conversion and kit bashing for my orcs? No, not ready for that yet. To be honest, I don't have enough pieces yet. I've just the first step is to get together some basic pieces. Put together the motorcycles I've got. Put together 2 trucks I've got. Put together the boys I've got. With what I've got for boys and whatnot, I've got around 700 points of orcs if I get everything built. Kit bashing starts happening when I've got some extra pieces. And I definitely have some ideas, but I got to get some extra pieces, and I got to start off with that. I got to have some parts to work with. I don't have any yet. Probably once I get a truck or 2 of the actual, their transports, the truck. Get a truck or 2 built, then I might be able to start looking at some conversion pieces. But that'll come in a bit. I got to first get into the feel of my guys. Right now, the big piece I'm working on for conversion, as you guys have seen the build on, sneak peek, here's some of the paint on that torso that is almost done. So my Death Guard, and that'll actually be the last Death Guard I paint for a while. I might do some spot needed Plague Marines here or there, but that's going to be it for Death Guard for a bit. So, because once that's done, once this guy is done, I will have a brigade detachment size of Death Guard. I think that'll be a brigade size of Death Guard done. Wow. Commodore is not having it tonight. Dig into that. Yeah, no, time to start looking at my alternate stuff. I got a bunch of those Stormcast I still got to paint. More Mutt. What is up, my guy? And one of the big projects I'm actually looking forward to is for my orcs. I want to get these bases done. I have a definite idea for the bases. Since hello, Plague Child. Chair's right there. Bring it over. Sit down. So I definitely have some ideas.
What's going on with Zane?
Zane's being naughty, and the Commodore's not having it tonight. I got some ideas for these bases because I was originally going to do this urban landscape, this wrecked urban landscape for my Imperial Guard. But then I got this piece from Robert, and I'm like, nah. I'm gonna do my orcs. I'm gonna use some of the lessons he gave me with these crimps for dropping casings all over the place. I'm going to be actually using a lot of the stuff he did here for my orc bases, but I'm also going to be adding on, because these vehicles, I'm going to be, and I'll be recording this as a tutorial. I'm going to be using some cork and making some shattered freeways, because you can't have a dragster driving on dirt. You want it driving on some broken freeway. So doing real Mad Max style. So I'm going to be doing the vehicle bases like roads, like broken and shattered concrete roads. And when I get to the orc bases, I'm going to be doing them in my style of urban ruins. So the orcs are going to be on a abandoned, wrecked planet that they're reclaiming in the name of the Wog. So that's the plan at this point. So yeah, got a lot going on. I'm actually, if you guys are interested in content coming out, as I build each one of these, I'm actually recording them to try and get me a little ahead on the channel for content. So I'm building them, and I'm going to be doing paints. Given the amount of response I've gotten on my paint jobs and on the build for this, I'm thinking this year, because I do have some spots in there, you're going to be seeing a lot more build-in paints. I think one of the things that you don't see in a lot of 40K, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the things you don't see in a lot of 40K channels is actually looking at the kits and building them, so that, you know, hey, this piece might be a little tricky. Here's what you're looking for. Because this piece was a perfect example. This little saw blade on the front here, it's actually a little tricky to put together. Hey, Al. So this little saw blade in the front was a little tricky to put together. I got confused kind of putting it together, like, hang on, what is going on here? And I had to look at it a couple times. Same with this big rotary engine in the back. There's a specific way it's got to be slid together, but you can easily miss how you're putting it together. So one of the things I wanted to do was I stopped and taped, and I went over what I think pieces need to be covered, like tricky spots in the kit and whatnot. And again, in the case of this, because I'm painting my guys on a very specific scheme, I'm actually not gluing the guys in until... What are you doing over there?
Just remember, there's something I can build with my stuff.
Okay.
My train.
Okay.
That's what I was getting.
Yeah.
That was noticed.
Yeah. So, like I was saying, I'm building these guys separately, and then when they're done being painted and the vehicle's painted, then I'm just going to glue them into the vehicle. So that's the plan, at least. So there's that. So that's what's on the bench. Lots orc stuff coming up. We're going to probably see a bunch of orcs over the next couple of months as I get my boys painted up and my knobs painted up and my weird boy and the boss knob and then the warlord, and then hopefully when Gazcool Thraka comes out, I want to get one of him for my army as well. And I'm hoping to reach out to Cromlech and Spellcrow and get some of their custom bits. When Plague Child got their kill team of Necrons,
I got some terrain.
The kill team terrain box, actually, the kill team for the Necron box comes with
trench.
Yeah, we'll cut that piece and I'm gonna show it to them.
Oh.
Okay. It comes with the Imperial trench kit. So, well, at least half it. So it's got 2 pieces of trench. So since they're done with their Necrons, they're gonna start assembling and painting and building these. So just quick check in. All right, so yeah, you got to use the mid clipper zones. I got to replace those and don't twist that out. Don't twist them if you need to use the other clippers. Yeah, don't twist them. It just makes a divot in the plywood. There's another orange handled smaller pair over there. These are fine. You just, when you use these, you want to use like the near middle of the clippers, because somebody decided to try and cut wire with these, even though they're not wire. And so you got to use about the mid clip.
I was having difficulty getting to the really close edge because there was a very small gap.
Right. So then what you do is you.
Where are
they should be in the all the Zactos.
See none of our metal.
Here's the orange one. All right. All right, so there you go. I'll let you continue what you're doing. All right, so, well, no, they were using clippers. They were just using, the problem is that I need to replace these clippers. Somebody used them to try and cut like heavy wires. So they're getting dull, and I don't have a really good grinder set up that I can go grind a nice point on them again. And they've got a nice chunk taken out of the clips. But I can get over to Hobby Lobby and use a coupon and get a pair of the Tamiya clips for like $8. So I might have to go do that.
I twisted the
yeah, one of the pieces wasn't coming off. One of the herald pieces that comes off, it wasn't coming off, and she started doing this. It's like, no, stop. That is illegal. Yes, that is very illegal.
I didn't know what an X-Acto was, otherwise I would use that.
Okay, be careful.
I know. I'm not putting a lot of pressure. Okay. Enough to.
Yeah. So yeah, and what I like about these trenches, they're good pieces. I've got, it's funny, I've got a set that I got with I think I got a set with my the Tau team that I built one of and then put the rest of them put back in the box, because Tau are kind of fiddly. Although now that I've learned them better, I think I'm going to go back and try and do them once I'm done with the orcs.
I'm not going to put the ends of the trenches on. I'm going to keep them removable.
Have we pick up a nibbers in the plastic canvas area? Okay, that's not a bad idea. I'll take a peek there. Tommy makes a pair of these that I can get at Hobby Lobby. Pretty. Oh yeah, take the camera off there. I was going to do some filming. I didn't get a chance to take that off. And you can put the tripod away. You don't have to film it. Was trying to get some filming done. We're trying to get a lot done around here. I got like a half dozen projects that are all in almost done mode. I like the Tau. There'll be something I'll look into a little bit. I've got a Tau team on loan to me, so I'm going to try playing them a little bit. I'm not like, oh, Tau, but whatever. Oh my God, who? Zane, shut up. All right. Down to your French for everything. Well, I mean, you are Imperial Fists, so build up, build up, build up, build up. All right. So again, that's really everything that is on the bench. So let's move on to personal news first. I had a battle against I had 2,000 points Space Wolves versus 1,000 Suns this weekend, and it ended up being a tie. And then afterwards, I realized something that made me feel terrible. One of my newer figures is that Storm Talon. And I was playing it like it was the gunship, not the interceptor. So, and neither one of us realized it until after the game. So there were some things I did that you can't do with an interceptor. So I made a huge mistake. And it obviously wasn't on purpose, but I felt terrible, absolutely terrible about it. So I actually, because we put the information for these fights, because it's not a league, but it's like a gentle narrative as we go kind of campaign. So the 1,000 Suns had been faced off against the Imperial Guard there, and the Imperial Guard had to fall back, and then I brought in my Wolves, and the Imperial Guard and the Wolves and 1,000 Suns fought, and the fight was a tie, but because I had misused one of the vehicles and I used it, I mean, it sat and hovered in a spot on the board, and it's got to move a minimum, as if you're familiar with the interceptor, it's got to move a minimum of 20 inches every round. And I missed that because I was looking at the gunship profile. And yeah, so I played it completely wrong. And so it just sat in the middle of the battlefield, just gunning stuff down, and it's not allowed to do that. So I felt just so awful. So I went publicly out to their Facebook page. I'm like, all right, that was on me. I totally messed that up. Although in it is a tie because it was a tie because I did some things wrong. I'm going to call that a forfeit, and you win that one, Antonio. That's your fight. And so now the guy that plays the Imperial Guard wants to take me on this coming weekend. I've agreed, and we're going to see how that goes. He's actually got a really good Imperial Guard army, and he's got a really good grasp of how to play the Imperial Guard. So, Imperial Guard are a good army. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. They are a good army. Very fragile, but they make up for it by just having lots of dudes on the board. So, I gotta rethink of some ways to fight that guy. So that's something I'm thinking about.
I played my first kill team game.
Plague Child played kill team with their Necrons. So
it was a search and rescue. So we tied technically, but with the mission, because it was a tie and the person I was playing against was the rescuer, they won automatically with that.
Yeah. And what army were they playing?
Inquisition?
No.
It was something.
Well, of course it was something.
I'm forgetting what they're called, but
what do they look like?
They're the ones who look like the normal soldiers, like with the hats and the.
Were they the ones wearing power armor?
No,
not big armor, but they had like little armor, or they just look like regular guys.
Regular guys.
Imperial Guard.
Imperial Guard. Yeah.
Okay, so you were playing. Were you playing Jack?
No, I was playing Hondo.
Oh, you played Hondo. Yeah, that's all I had to say. So you were playing Imperial Guard, and yeah, Imperial Guard. Yeah, Hondo's another really good Imperial Guard player at our normal place.
And I was proud that we had tied point wise.
Well, you did, but you did well. That's your very first game. So the next goal is to get you another box of Immortals, so that you could even yourself out. So you can have 5 Immortals and 5 Death Marks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the next goal. So
I killed his flamer.
Well done. So that's your next goal in there. No, 3,000 points. I played 2,500 points versus Kami because he's playing knights, and that's big fat boys. Oh, you're saying Will should play 3,000 points. I'm cool with that. But Will's got to build and paint them first. So
I only have like 7.
You can buy Will a couple of start collecting boxes and send them to Will, care of me, and we'll make sure Will gets them. We'll talk about it in thing, because now that you're offering to support Plague Child's hobby, I'm proud of you there, Zane. There you go. Good job on you. No comments on the peanut gallery now.
This looks
Yeah, you're good. Hang on.
It's not smooth.
It's smooth, yeah. Yeah, and remember, you don't want to glue these.
Yeah, I was
but you want to glue the plates on.
Yeah, because these go here.
Yeah. And I think there's glue up there. If there's not any on the table, I don't know where the glue is right off the top of my head. Okay, there you go. Why don't you have a 3,000 a 3D printed what do you call it? The monolith. There you go. Why don't you 3D print a monolith for? That's chance. So there you go. All right, let's go back to talking about what's coming up. Let's see. We've got that going on. You've Lady Dragon, as you guys have seen, has been producing a lot of art. We went to go get Mythos's picture scanned, and I was going over to get it scanned, and because 8 don't support Necrons. The evil. Yeah. Have you met the Plague Child? Yeah, it's all about the evil. Let's see here. Now you got me. You guys got me. You guys keep me off topic tonight. What the hell? Let me take my glasses here. Oh gosh, I completely lost my train of thought. Damn it, Zane. Oh yeah, Shan. Okay, so we went to go get Mythos's picture scanned at a at the local print shop, and the store was open, but the print shop was closed. So we got to take it back in there. I just haven't had the ability to get back to it. So she's hopefully going to go get it scanned tomorrow. Joe Bookish his grots are mostly done. He's got this wonderful 3 grots and a trench coat look going on. And she's got some mock-ups. I can't say a damn thing. I'm a little tired. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, so I need the glasses to help me focus. They're just readers, but they're helping me focus, which is crazy. Give me.
There's 2 tops at the top that I'm having trouble getting to, and that's what I was. That's what earlier I twisted at. Perfect.
You don't need sprue. You just clip the sprue away.
Okay.
Oh, it's just a battle painting. Very nice. You know, oh my gosh, Cinedave, you're making me embarrassed. I got this box sitting in the back of my car that needs to get shipped to you, and we keep forgetting to go to the freaking post office to send you.
Yes, send a reminder on my phone.
See. Did we get to those real models? What? Sand. Use sanding paper.
I'm getting the bigger part of the wheel.
Yeah. Hey, cool. Set reminder. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, the Hey Google reminder is Big D at work. Hey, Lady Dragon, you're home during the day. Take care of this. And it's just, I just gotta make her go do it. Because we got him. I've got him sitting. I got a presents for you. And their sisters of battle. I'm not telling you what, but their sisters of battle, you know? You're getting less and less time to do modeling stuff. Send help. No, Zane, give up sleep. That's what I'm doing. I don't need sleep. Lots of caffeine. That's all you need.
I'll get up to go to the bathroom and this one's still up. We need to sleep back.
All right. So now that's everything that's going on. You can only really ally with Militarum. Actually, can sisters ally up? I mean, Militarum is great with them to give them, I guess, bodies, but sisters are good for bodies. Have you thought about maybe allying them up with some Custodes? You know, I mean, a couple squads of Custodes give you some real punch for your sisters. So, yeah. Okay.
I should stop doing that.
You should. It's the second time you've done it now.
No, the first time I thought I did. The second.
Band-Aids are in the box.
Proof that I'm your child.
Yeah. All right. So, all right. Oh, anything with military removes their doctrine bonuses. That's like having the Marines tag up with anybody that's not Marines. They lose their that new bonus that they get. So they really want people to stop running soup, and they want people to run monofaction armies, which again, you found that, yeah, on Thingiverse, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, tank commanders are bomb. I love it. I mean, 2 tank commanders. So, here's an idea for you, Mythos. You want to bring some real DACA, you bring 2 tank commanders with a Vanguard detachment, so you're using heavy support, and you get 3 more tanks. You run 5 of them, and then use the CP that they give you to turn them into an Emperor's Fist detachment out of the Vigilus Ablaze, I think the rules for that in. You take one of the tank commanders and you give him the relic that is the relic. Basically, you put a Baneblade cannon on a what do you call it, on a Layman Russ, and then the other guy, you give him the Vanquisher Punisher cannon, the the heavy 20 cannon. So with the tank commander, as long as you're moving, I think because of the vigils, you can move half your movement. You can move a little bit more than half your movement. It lets you basically put a heavy 40 onto a single target. That tank cannon, the one that you get from Vigilus for being Emperor's Fist, it's the Baneblade main Baneblade just cannon in stats. It's ridiculous. But you put it on one of those, and then you got three more Layman Russes. You set two up as regular Layman Russes and one as a executioner with the plasma, and that's a tremendous amount of DACA. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's called the Emperor's Fist attachment, and the relic, I think, is called the Emperor's Hammer. It's a just disgusting cannon. And again, because they're Layman Russes, as long as you move them half their movement or less, you get to fire twice, as long as you're shooting at the same target. So being able to put 4 regular cannon shots into something, 2 of this gigantic cannon shots, 40 strength 5 autocannon shots, and then 2 plasma hits. It's what I'm doing for my army. It's one of the attachments for my Imperial Guard. It's pretty nasty. I'm actually swapping out, though, instead of using the autocannon on one of the tank commanders, one of my 2 tank commanders is just going to be a regular autocannon. So it's I think it's a strength 8, 2 shots. It'll be, if I move, it's 4 shots. It's a great. Check out. I think it's Vigilus Ablaze. Check it out. There's a detachment for the Militarum in there. It costs an extra CP to take that specialist attachment, and you do it for the relic, but it's just really, really good. Hell Child, my friend. How are you, sir? Good to see you. We are doing really well. So let's talk a little tactics there. Yeah, Imperial Guard's my jam. They were going to be the new army new year, but I got started on them last year, so they didn't really count. But I've got a good beginning for them. I'm trying to make a very very mobile infantry version for mine, much based on the unit I was in when I was in the military, the 9th ID. So and it's looking good. You guys have seen the paint job on them. I want to make them look like the 9th ID. Actually, I'll make them look like the 47th Infantry Regiment. The 347 was a regiment I was in, which is why my Cadians are called the Ivy Tigers. So they're coming along. They're on the bench too, but I got so many other guys that are just. I understand. I have so many projects I'm halfway through that I want to paint, and I keep flip-flopping on the bases I want to do the Ivy Tigers in, because I kind of wanted to make them look like they're in a pine forest. Then I was going to do the Urban Destroyed, make them kind of Urban Destroyed, and that's what this base was originally for. But then I love this base so much that I kind of want to put it on a showpiece figure. And my Imperial Guard, they don't really have any showpiece dudes. They're all just guys. My showpieces for that is the vehicles. So that's why I'm going to be putting an orc on here. I decided to do my orcs as that distressed orcs. The urban orcs. I actually want to go and see if I can find some extra urban bits so I can put all of them on walls and plates, and I got some urban stuff I'm going to be doing for them. Like I said, you guys will see the video on that a couple of weeks. The orcs are going to be well done before the videos for how I'm doing them are going to be out there. So you'll be seeing them before all the content for them is out. I'm kind of pleased by that. The rate of content that I'm creating and the stuff I'm doing it at a good enough clip that I should be able to catch stuff up and actually get some leeway and ahead of time so I can finish up that freaking Imperial Fortress that I've been trying to work on for the last 5 months. That gate, I got to be able to sit down with no pressure and work on that gate because there's a lot of engineering to get those doors work. Yeah, some of the Commissar models are good for showpieces. Again, if my army used Commissars, I would do that. But quite literally, my Imperial Guard army, the list I have developed for my Imperial Guard army, I've got one detachment that's 2 tank commanders with a trio of tanks backing them. Yeah, that's pretty close, Zane. So it's you've got 2 tank commanders and then a trio of tanks for 1 detachment. Then my second detachment is what do you call it? Lord Castellan Creed and a Primera Psyker and another tank command, another tank commander, another company commander. 6 squads of infantry, 3 units of mortars for heavy support, 3 armored sentinels for my fast attack. Although I'm thinking about, instead of doing armored sentinels, I'm thinking about doing hellhounds. So that's kind of still a debate. And I'm thinking about, instead of doing 3 artillery or 3 mortars, actually swapping 1 or 2 of them out for hydras, so I can actually do like actual artillery guns. So I can do 113 cannons. So again, it's kind of fun. But that's, again, another long build. Right now I'm building 6 squads of infantry. I've got a box on here. I've got them all in. I've got them primed, and I'm starting to work slowly through them here and there. So that's just going to take a bit. I mean, that's 60 guys. That's 60 just regular troops, and I don't even know how I'm doing their bases yet. So that was why when we were talking at the beginning of the year, well, how many figures can you do this year? I'm honestly looking at if I can actually sit down, like if I get a weekend where nobody bothers me, very possibly the weekend that Lady D goes out to California, I may just hole up at a painting table and crank out figures that weekend and see how many I can get in a weekend. I'm looking at, hopefully, I'd like to crest 200 figures this year. I did pretty close to 200, maybe 250, somewhere in there last year. I want to do at least the same, if not more, this year. So that's my goal. I mean, I'm already on pace for it this month. We only did I think it was 15 in December. I mean, in January, but we're already up. We're at 39 now for the year. I do have to sleep and go to work. 200 is not a bad number. But again, we'll see. I mean, like I said, I'm already at 39, and I'm here in February, and I've got 4 days left, and I'm seeing 3 figures on my work table that will be done in the next day or two. So that's going to get me over 40 for the first 2 months of the year. Actually, when on the weekend that Lady Dragon goes out to California, I will probably run a number of. What are you looking for?
My instruction manual.
Why? What are you looking for?
Because one, I want to figure out the plate thingies.
You put them wherever you want. They fit. You can put them in any order you want.
I can't decide which one looks better.
But there's no specific way.
Okay, that's what I was checking.
There's no specific way. You just put them whichever way you want the 4 pieces.
Just can't decide whether I like.
Well, and that's the thing. You're actually that's not backwards, Mythos. That's kind of the way I'm building. That's pretty much the rate I'm building my orcs at. I got lucky in that I got that 2nd edition box. But if you don't count that box, which I'm counting for right now, but I haven't really got them, all I've actually got for the orcs, I got that the Speed Freaks box and the box with the knobs and the War Boss, which I gotta say, I really love the War Boss that comes in that box. So I really love the way he looks. So and I don't have a codex for them yet. I have a digital copy of the codex, but I do have their cards because that's, looking at how to read them. Zane, if I could get my hands on a Black Reach War Boss, I'd probably try to. But that's 5th edition. That's been out of print for a while, and everybody that has it on eBay wants way too freaking much for it. And they've never reprinted the damn thing. They never produced it in a secondary kit. They never produced it in a secondary kit. They never sold it in the secondary market. I mean, that you could only get it through the Black Reach box. That's kind of my aggravation with some of the stuff out of the Dark Imperium starter box. There is 4 or 5 figures for both the Death Guard and for the Imperials that you can only get out of that box. So if you want those figures, you have to buy the entire box to get them. And that's why we're making a kit bash for our 2nd Malignant Plaguecaster. Yeah, I mean, I wish I could get my hands on a set of Black Reach. I mean, it was a heavily produced box set, but people want a tremendous amount for it. What I'm hoping is the same luck I ran into last year. Find some old tiny ma and pa hobby store that has some has some old hobby kits in the back, like those elf dragon riders I found that are going out as a gift to the Pay It Forward box. And that's okay. I mean, there's some alternate models that are out there. Artel W has some really great orcs that look like they're GW orcs, and I'm not playing ITC, so I don't really care. Yeah, well, Tina, your old man also has a whole bunch of Imperial Guard that he's looking to get rid of too, So, And I'm surprised you still have those Black Creek charts. I would have thought your brother-in-law would have tried to snap those up from you, seeing that he's such a big orc fan. So let's talk Friday. All right, we'll talk Friday. We will talk. All right. Purple. Well, I can show you, they're not purple, but I can show you the blue that I'm going to be painting all my orc vehicles in, because I am Death Skulls. So I'm actually going to be using Ice to Never by Turbo Dork to paint all of my orc vehicles, because I love this color. And since I'm using wavelength for anything, if I ever get more knights, this is the house color for the knights, and it came in 2 other sets. I kind of want to use this Ice to Never, which is a nice blue, lighter blue. Maybe Warcry Wednesday. Maybe let's talk about it. Yeah, well, we'll pop by. I mean, you're there almost every day, so we'll get you figured out. Let's see, what else are we talking about? Adepticon. Adepticon's coming up 3 weeks out. And freaking GW is all over talking about Adepticon, how it is going to be the biggest reveal they've done in company history.
And heading back to my
game. Okay. That I played Child. That the Adepticon is going to be the biggest release in company history. So we can only imagine what they're all going to do, considering what the stuff they've already released. The new Black Library novel is out with the 2 figures for it, an HQ choice for Sisters of Silence, and a new character HQ choice for name character for Custodes. Now, I understand they might both be 30K, but they'll probably have 40K rules as well. I think this is a hint we're going to be seeing some Sisters of Silence stuff coming up soon, because they need it badly. They're virtually useless right now in 40K. We've all seen the preview pieces, the pixelated tiny postage stamp pictures for the new marine bikes and speeders. We know we know that's coming for them. Orcs and Gazgul Thraka, they'll probably be actually revealing that figure really soon, now that they've shown off the stats for Makari and the fact that they're going to have a grot with a freaking 2-up invul save. Oh crap. So Gazgul is coming. Quick note for us Wolf players. Ragnar Blackmane is no longer available on their website. It says no longer available. So that, I think, is all of our hint that Ragnar is either just getting a new model, or the more likely reality is that Ragnar will be crossing the Rubicon into Primaris. I am looking forward to that. Seeing as that my Primaris Space Wolves are Blackmane company, I will have to get a Ragnar Blackmane finally to go with my guys. Also, speaking of, since they've got some options going on right now, Valhallans are actually on a build to order right now. So if you ever wanted the Valhallan sculpts, they're actually for a limited time they're all available through their website right now, which I thought was pretty cool. I like the Valhallan build. I actually really, really like that Valhallan, that Valhallan, Russian Cossack looking Imperial Guard. Yarick has his classic model with the crab claw looking thing. They've got that for sale as a build on demand as well. So the last time they did like this, there was something coming up with them, and I point this out. They did that print to order with the Dark Vengeance Space Marines, the what do you call it, the Dark Angels, just before they released the new the Faith and Fury, the Dark Angels Psychic Awakening book. So I'm not sure why the Vostroyans, I'm not the Vostroyans, the Valhallans. So that's, or I'm not sure which one it is. It's the guys that look like Cossacks. I think that's the Valhallans. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see if they're doing something, especially because they just released the Imperial Guard Psychic Awakening books. So that's interesting. I'm thinking there's reasoning behind it. They also did that with the Sisters just before they took the old metal Sisters off the market to put the new plastic ones up. So I'm wondering if they're doing this because they're trying to gauge whether or not people want other builds to maybe do another group of Imperial Guard. I don't know. We'll see at Adepticon. With as much as they're going to be releasing at Adepticon from what they're saying, I'm expecting a lot. Filthy Eldar Xenos players, you guys got your special figures faster than anyone else has. And yet, if you go to Reddit, you'd think that GW still does nothing but despise Eldar players. They haven't even had 6 months yet. And the 2 unique figures and the 2 plastic kits that are brand new in Blood of the Phoenix, they're coming out. The Drazar Master of Blades and the Incubus are going on pre-sale this Saturday. And then Jane Czar and the Plastic Banshees are going on pre-sale next Saturday. So like 6 months, not even 6 months, like 5 months, and they're already out of the box and getting. So everybody was complaining about all the Eldar players that were existing Eldar players. They were complaining and complaining and complaining. We don't have plastic. We don't have plastic. We don't have plastic. We don't have plastic. We need plastic. Stop giving us fine cast. We want plastic. They get the big box and they're all like, oh, all these units suck. We don't want all this. We just want this. Quit your complaining. You guys are getting a lot of love. That box set was expensive, but it had 4 new sculpts in it. 4. No other box they're doing that unless they're printing out a brand new army. And then they were saying, well, the units in there aren't competitive, except half of those units are competitive, maybe more. And they're cool looking units. I'm sorry. The Eldar have been competitive for almost 20 years now. The Eldar got nothing to complain about as far as players, but they find reasons to complain. And I'm going to tell you right now, my opinion, hate on me if you want, the Eldar subreddit on Reddit is toxic as hell. Nobody there is happy about anything. They all think that the Eldar are just screwed over every time they turn around, and they got nothing going on. And now they're upset. Well, Jane Czar is going to be $40 and she sucks. Every named character that they've come out with since they did the Marine refresh in September, every single named character has been a $40 figure. Jane Czar, Drazar are named characters. They're going to be $40 figures. Anybody who didn't see that coming 9 months ago hasn't been paying attention. The incubi are going to be $55 for a box for 5. The same with the banshees. Guess what? Everybody's box of 5 elite units is around $55. Trainers are 50 to 60, depending on whose Terminators they are. You look at the Tau, their 3-man elite unit, their crisis suits. They get 3 crisis suits for $75. I'm not saying that Games Workshop has the best prices in the world. You're paying for the name, you're paying for the quality of the sculpts. You know this coming into the hobby. You get warned about this. You look at the prices when you get in this hobby, you know what you're getting into. To complain about getting a $55 box for figures when it's the same price or less than every other elite box out there, I just, it's like, what do you Eldar guys want? The Loon box for Age of Sigmar came out a year ago, and they're only now finally getting the 2 leaders out of that box released. Finally, this week they came out. I mean, seriously, guys, it's funny. My wife is the only Eldar player I know. I'm lucky because she loves Eldar. She doesn't care. She loves the way they look. She loves the Eldar. She loves the Drukhari. She doesn't care what's competitive. She just loves the look and she's happy about them. And that's awesome. It's like the Eldar players, like they want everything, everything, and everything. And it's like, when the Knights were the meta, like a year and a half ago, when the Knights came out and the Knights were the meta, the one army that could regularly beat Knights was the Eldar and the Tau. Because they were the 2 guys that could delete a Knight off the table. They've been that good forever. The Marines get good. It's weird. It's like there's this weird meta going on where you've got a top tier army, and then as changes go, the top tier gets overtaken by other guys, and the top tier team slips down. But the numbers 2, 3, and 4 don't really change all that much. You've got Eldar and you've got Tau right there. It's slipping between, Eldar, Drukhari, and Tau, slipping back and forth between 2 to 4. And then 1 keeps dropping in a new number 5 slot. But it's like the Eldar, the Drukhari, and the Tau still stay up in the top tier army. I know Tau players. They're not complaining. Like, that's cool. I got Snow White Tau. They're great. I know 2 other Drukhari players that I talk to on a regular basis. They're like, man, the Drukhari are fine. They're good with it. They did some changes to the Yanari. Okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, but whatever. But every other freaking Eldar player, GW hates me. GW hates the Eldar. They want the Eldar to go away. Blah, blah, blah. If they hated the freaking Eldar, they wouldn't have produced a $330 box set that is like 20 pounds of freaking plastic for you guys. That's pure Craft World stuff. All right, off that rant. I'm done. A little kicker onto that. They were what I was used to because I was looking at Eldar longer than anyone else, because that was the only Xenos guys I was looking at, because I was looking at it for Lady B. And then I joined the subreddit for the orcs on Reddit. And you know what the funny thing was? Do you know what the orc players were complaining about? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. There are players like, hey, did you see this new model from Artel? Did you see this new model from Cromlech? Hey, dude, I did this kit bash. Hey, I took some old bits and I put some orc bits on them. Hey, I took this AOS model. I love the way it looked. I put an orc head on it, and boom, it's an orc thing. Hey, I got a bunch of plastic cards and some crap, and I pulled together this model. I found this old model of a VW Beetle, and I put some crap on it. And look, it's an orc vehicle now. And I'm looking at this going, why in the hell didn't I start playing orcs earlier? They're freaking the kind of guys I am. I just want to play the game and have fun. I don't get stressed about crap. And the orc guy's like, hey, we're going to lose. So I'm going to have fun playing them. And I'm finding that as the more I dive deep into orcish player mentality, it really does seem like players are drawn in by factions, somewhat about what kind of a person they are. I mean, Marines, everybody kind of likes Marines a little bit, or you hate Marines. But they're Marines. I mean, even at the worst, they're like, well, they're Marines. They're the generic dudes. The Eldar are kind of like, I have to be so good, blah 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 blah, and just like almost every Eldar player, and I say almost every because you look at Lady D, she's like, I have Eldar. I'll get to them some point. I really like the Drukhari. They're crazy, and she loves the Drukhari. Well, I got to get to the Eldar, but I love my Drukhari. So she's playing the Eldar because she can, not because they're her choice. I look at the guys that play Knights, and they're like, I like them because they're big and stompy, you know. And this is not the competitive guys. The competitive guys, there's a different mentality there. But I only know a couple of competitive guys, and even they're still kind of fun about the whole thing. But like Commodore, I mean, you guys got to see. You guys don't understand. You haven't seen that much of Commodore. Here's a guy that has this huge Knights army, and they're gorgeous, and he is so freaking laid back. He's like, I like them because they're big and stompy, you know. Hey, you know what, Phoenix? That's okay. You know, that's the thing. Everybody loses at first. Everybody gets to know the rules, and it's not about winning or losing. And that's the biggest thing. That is the biggest thing about the hobby that some people never get past. This hobby is about joy. You play this because it's a fun game. You paint them because they're pretty and you like to make them look good, or they're gross, you want to make them look gross, or they're cool, you want to make them look cool. But you paint the figures because you want to make them look cool, gross, beautiful, whatever. You're painting them because that's art. That's the art part of it. Something about them speaks to you. You look at this figure and go, this is cool. And that's the thing. You want to do this and you want to share this love. I mean, that's the thing. I went to the store and I talked about this. Now that I'm playing a little back, now that I'm back in the hobby a little over the year, here's the thing. I was gifted a Dark Vengeance box. I want to say 2016. It was gifted to me, and I was like, I kind of want to paint them. I don't know if I want to go and play it again because the rules are super complicated again, and there's all this. I'm going to touch on that in a second there, Mathos, because I have an really interesting observation about that. I wasn't sure if I wanted to get back in. I really wasn't sure if I wanted to get back in. And I went to the gaming store. I went to the GW store here in town. I'm like, oh, let's just take a look and see what's up with it. I've been looking at videos about the new 40K, the 8th edition. So I'd seen 8th edition came out. And I've been looking at Kill Team. And Kill Team looked really fun. And I'm like, well, you know, that's not a big investment. We can start with just Kill Team. And so I went to the store. And that first day at the GW store here in Milwaukee, I met the manager of the store. And I met Tina Raven and Ben and Jordan. And so I met, at least 4 people. And it was very obvious from just meeting those couple of people that very first day that this was a hobby I wanted to get back into. I loved painting minis. I was painting minis already back then. I was doing some mini painting already for D&D and for my zombie apocalypse game. But the people that were at that store were just super cool people. I have to look at that more. I have to look at that mutt. I may have to see if he still got that next week. Because unfortunately, beginning of the month, I got a bunch of bills I got to take care of first. But yeah, it's a real good deal. So I met these 4 people, and I'm like, the manager there took the person who was with me, the Kender, and just walked her over to what she was looking at. He didn't care. He just went, like, well, what do you like? What, just tell me what you're looking at. What interests you? And just kind of, because he knew I understood the game, so he just wanted to see what interests her, and he completely just sunk into what caught her eye, what she was interested in, what she was into. Now, yeah, speaking retail, that's a good skill, but at the same time, there was some honest empathy there. And I've gotten to know the manager there. It's an honest empathy thing. He is really good at the whole people thing and being an honest and fair and upright and personable person. He's a good guy. I consider him a friend. I consider him actually a very good friend. And I met Tina and Ben. And Tina and Ben are just so it's said, they are 2 of the nicest people I have ever met in a gaming store. My first impression of them. Ben is, putting it honestly, Ben and Tina, they kind of have this mom and dad kind of persona over the younger gamers and the kind of scattered gamers, and yet they're still fun. They're not like, it's not like overbearing or anything, something like that, but it's just like, you can go and talk to them about advice. You can get excited with them about things and they'll get excited with you. They'll have conversations with you about stuff, and they're free to give you opinions, and they're willing to engage, and they want to show what they're doing, and they want to share what you're doing, and they're just this great mature presence in the gaming store, which was amazing. And then they've got their kid at the time, the little bitty one, in there, and she's great because she's got that great energy because her parents are letting her be a kid and still introducing her hobby. She's painting, figures and stuff. It's great. And then Jordan, I can't even get into Jordan. Jordan is just like this really, really nice guy. I mean, Jordan's just, he's in here every once in a while. Oh, yeah, that's right. I should point this out. We'll get to that in a sec, too, because this past weekend, we took Phoenix there for the first time to the store, so we could introduce her to the crowd. So, it was really cool. And that's the thing. They did the same thing. When I brought Lady Dragon in, I mean, she had no idea about 40K. Yeah, Jordan is everyone's little brother. That's really who Jordan is. And Jordan is just a great guy. He's encouraging, and he wants to share in your excitement, and he just wants to talk and be cool and hang out and be nice. And I'm not saying that there's not a lot of people there. That's the thing. That was the core of people I met that first day. And I know from what I've heard about other communities and other gaming stores, you don't have that everywhere. And I can honestly say one of the nicest things about the community, it convinced me that I wanted to get back into the game. It absolutely convinced me. And the thing about it that's been crazy is that the community encourages this kind of behavior and reinforces this kind of behavior in at least our area. I mean, Commodore, understand, I knew Commodore before I knew he was a 40K player. What do you want? I knew Commodore before I knew he was a 40K player. When I ran into him at the 40K store, I was like, well,
I remember that.
that makes sense, because that's the kind of person he is. He is again. I surround myself. I'm lucky. I surround myself with good people, great people. I make it a point to surround myself with great people because I have enough failings on my own. I should kind of keep good people around me to help me cover my own flaws. So, and that's the thing. In the entire community, it reinforces that, and that's it's really great, and that's the thing that got me into the game and got me back in the game, and why when Phoenix showed some interest, I was actually kind of excited to show it to her because I already knew Phoenix was a nerd and a geek because she's family, and she's been a D&D player for a long time. It was very funny when I realized that even though we live a bit away from each other, although a lot closer than I think about, which is also weird, that she actually used to play D&D with some of my old crew that I used to run with when I was in my 20s down on the east side. So it was like, how do you know so-and-so? And it was just kind of a funny situation. So that community just grows by encouraging good behavior. And that's a good thing because there's so many different kind of gaming communities. It's what drove me out of playing Magic the Gathering. I won't play Magic anymore because there are so many. They're good players, they're good people, but there's also so many toxic players in that same community that I'm just like, I don't want to play it anymore. That's why I sold it all and bought Warhammer with it.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
So I try to be. I try to be a good people. I do my best, and that's all I can ever ask anybody. Just try to be your best.
That is good people.
So, it is what it is. We've had an interesting conversation this evening. I'm enjoying this. We've got about 10 minutes left. Let me quick catch up with the chat. See what's going on here. Oh yeah. Fist said something earlier that I wanted to.
I think her headache. Oh yeah, I think her headache has developed into a migraine.
Hang on. Fist had some earlier one that I wanted to comment on. Oh, okay. So earlier you were saying that Commodore is the exception, not the rule. It's funny. I only know two. I know three guys that play knights. Commodore plays them as a full army, and the other two people I know that play them as a add-on to their army. It's the same way I play my knights. I play them as an add-on to my Imperial Guard. And did it pop finally?
No.
No, but what? Hang on. Lady Dragon is alive.
Well, I knew that.
Or at least does a good imitation of life. Okay. All right. Anyhow. So the two people I know that play them as a secondary part of their army, and they're really good sports. They're fun people to play with. Commodore is the only person I actually know in the community that plays a pure Knights army. Kami says, I mean not Kami. Quisitor says hi. Get her in the frame. Want to say hi? She's here. She's not feeling well.
I would get in the frame. Unfortunately, there's a plague child that is blocking the way. And I am not bending over.
Yeah.
Nice, you just walk. Just take steps.
Yes.
There, you're in
This is-
frame.
Everybody wants to see this.
No, they want about another 2 inches. Another 2 inches. Another 2 inches. 2 inches. There you go. Look. It's her best feature. But I was saying about Commodore is that here's honest point about Commodore. When he was building his knights, the funny thing is when everybody talks about their army, and and I don't know if he's ever really noticed this. When everybody talks about their army, they talk about, oh, and I want to use this figure because it's got this great gun and it's got to do this, this, and this, and all of this figure because it's got this ability and all of this, and yeah, and they talk about the figures that they want to use in their army because they can do certain things and they do certain things a certain way, or they can use certain weapons, or all this. When I saw Commodore building and painting those knights, you guys want to know what he was talking about the whole time? So I want to take them and I want to make a custom house. So I want to make each one of the big knights, I want to base them on people. I want to base them on people that I know so I can make this house based on this or based on that. And I have this great idea for a paint job. And I'm thinking about this paint and I want to make these things go together. And do these colors go together? What can I do for the space? What do you think of this? His entire focus, and this is why Commodore is such a special guy, his entire focus of building this gigantic 2,500 point army was how he could build it so that it would remind him of the people he enjoyed hanging out with. So yes, he is a cool guy. There's a reason why he wasn't even the warlord of our Patreon yet, and I made him a an admin. I'm kind of a good judge of people, and I can honestly say when I really got to know the first couple of times I met Kami, I knew this is a guy I could trust because he thinks of other people all the time. So
it was why I loved working with him. He used to be my manager, actually.
Yeah, and that's what we made. The way we know Kami is that Lady Dragon, he used to be Lady Dragon's boss when they both worked at the same bank for a while. I don't think Joe's in channel right now, but I will show this off as Lady Dragon is working on his goblins picture. So let you guys see what's going on with the 3 goblins in the Commodore jacket. I think it's lovely.
So do I.
Are you actually looking at it, or were you too busy looking at your injured thumb because you...
No, I looked at it. I've watched you draw it. And I literally just looked up.
So, yeah, I think, we have been lucky. We have surrounded ourselves with good people, and we've been lucky to find cool people like Freak and Mythos, like TMP, Mr. Alito over at the TMP, like Nick at IDIC Beer, like most of the people in this chat with us tonight. And that is the nice thing about it. I mean, I've made the mention before that I'm all about the community. I run this channel, everybody but you, Zane. We love you. But no, you're great. Everybody in this channel, you guys are. We're a good community of people. I'm actually glad. I'm glad you've gotten to know everybody that comes in here and chats with us and talks with us. And I'm glad to know everybody that know through the IDIC Beer Alliance. And I want to see it grow. I mean, that's the big thing. Mythos and Freak pushed that weekend just before the new year and got me up to 400 viewers. I'm right now hovering just over 450. In a month and a half, I've picked up 50 more viewers. So, here's hoping I can get to 500 in the next month and a half to 2 months. That would be awesome. Let's get to that 500 mark. Let's grow that community. Let's, try and get more people into the chat so we can talk more about not just the hobby. And that's the funny thing. I noticed that when I started doing the live chats, it was just kind of like, we're just going to babble a bit. But, you do get into a groove on it. We spend that first 20 minutes to a half hour talking about what's on the bench. Then we spend like a half hour to 45 minutes talking about what's new in the world of Warhammer. And then we spend that last 15, 20 minutes just talking about whatever struck my fancy and anything you guys ask about. And that's the cool thing, because it's like, I want feedback from you guys and I want to talk with you guys about it. And I try to make sure I get feedback from you guys because we are a community. Yeah, I'm the guy on the mic, but I'm just the guy on the mic talking to all of you and hoping y'all listening and talking back. So that being said, my friends, it is 9 o'clock, and this one has to get ready for bed to go to school tomorrow. I got to finish getting down with the sickness and get this bad boy up on Instagram. Take a break, number 40 for the year. So, that being said, final thoughts. I think Bill and Ted put it best. Be excellent to each other.
Oh, I know you're talking.
Now here's the thing, and that's really true for gaming. That is actually doubly true for gaming. If you bring a new gamer into a game and you crush the crap out of me, talk down to them and treat them like crap, you're not going to get a new gamer. You're going to get a guy that played one game. If you bring a new gamer in and you culture that growth and you show them and you get them excited and you show them, yeah, you might lose at first, but you'll get better. But it doesn't matter. It's fun to play. Winning or losing, it's going to part of the game. You're not going to win every game. You're not going to lose every game. But you got to play every game. So, food for thought. So that being said, my friends, all right. Hit me up on Instagram. Hit Lady D up on Instagram. As you all know, I do have a Patreon. I have 3 mid-tier Patreon members. I have Joe Bookish, I have Inquisitor Zane, and I have Heinrich Botha from South Africa. The guy is a champ. If you have not talked to us in our Patreon, not in our Patreon, in our Discord channel. Like, I have a public channel just for everybody. We can just sit and chat in. And as for my Patreon members, there's further chapters down. Come on in. Let's have a talk. Let's have you guys talk about it. Because anytime at the bench, I got it open next to me here. I also have that Warlord level. My amazing admin, my good friend, and good and all-around guy, Commodore, as our Warlord of the channel. With the Phalanx high in orbit, getting ready to nuke Inquisitors when they step out of line. There's that like button. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe. Ring that bell. Throw those comments in. Tell me what you want to talk about. Hey, hit me up with anything. You guys want to contact me. If you want to talk to me about something outside of that, again, hit me up on Instagram, GameCraftDragon. Or if you really need to get a hold of me, adrian.drake@gmail.com. Reach out to me. Talk to me. Let's chat. And we will see you soon. My friends, my family, my community. Game on.